Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of Meet the GM, and we've got a special guest on today, our two-time champion of the Orkney Bowl and three-time helmet winner, Mike. How's it going?
Yeah, very good. Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
I'm okay. It looks nice and sunny down your way too. So
Glorious. Off for a game of golf shortly.
nice. Yeah, well, it's nice here, but apparently it's going to get windy again later on, so the boats are under review for this afternoon.
Okay.
The joys of island life, but at least we're stopping the shops. Worst comes to the worst, and get discounted Easter eggs that'll keep us going. So obviously you're the G there. Yeah, so yeah, I actually got one this morning, that's because they were like half price. So it's supposed to be healthy eating, but my daughter's birthday's on Saturday, so I'm going to count this week as not really counting and go back on it next week. So the big question, so where about you from?
Darlington. Half the year. The other half of the year I spend in Brazil.
Bit of a difference here, man.
Yeah, that's where I work. I work in Brazil, but I live in the UK.
So for those that are not from the UK, where about is Darlington?
In the northeast of England. Not far from Middlesbrough, about 35 miles south of Newcastle. About an hour north of Leeds.
Cool. I think we've got maybe 3 teams from Darlington in the Orkney Bowl or something like that. So.
Yeah, we all... Dobbo, he lives round the corner, and Garmo used to live in the same street as me. He's just moved just to a village just outside Darlington.
Yeah, because obviously I think it was Marwick Head final was Dobbo's Darlos against the Darlington Dragons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it was like Craig's like, bloody hell, there's more of them. So, what is your actual Orkney Bowl team name then?
Darlington Destroyers.
Cool. That's makes it nice and easy, that one. Yeah. It's been at the top of the list for a while.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty simple name, really. I don't have much of imagination when it comes to stuff like that. Garmo, lad from Darlington, he always tells me off for having bland team names, but my surname is Bland by name, Bland by nature.
The main thing was to get your place where you stay in a thing, when Darlow just thought it was just quite a good one.
Yeah.
Because the way you're going, you're destroying everybody, so it's worked out bloody well.
It's on point.
Yeah, it is very much on point. I'm trying to see I've got a list here. I was going to see what your overall stats were for you played 42 games, you've won 27, you've lost 15, you've scored 9,169.37 points and conceded 8,509. That's just your regular season record. So yes, 9,100 points is bloody hell, man.
Yeah, I had a stretch last year where I lost about 4 or 5 games in a row, or quite close together, where I think I was either the second or the third highest scoring team in the league that week. The fixture variance wasn't very friendly to me. So
no, you were a bit unlucky.
Yeah, with a head-to-heads, it wouldn't be my favourite format, but it's the most common one. But yeah, it's when you are scoring like that and losing, it's you can't really get too down on yourself. You're doing everything right, and it is just variance. So keep doing what you're doing, and eventually things will work out for the best.
Well, that's it. You know what I mean? Because like you think there's maybe, even if they were even once or twice last season, you were under 200 points. Yeah, I mean, it's just like. But it was well done winning again. It was very impressive. And we'll see how you get on with the Scarborough Championship. It'd be fun, that one, because obviously there's only 4 teams make the playoffs in that one, and the finals over 2 weeks. So it's like a better thing. So it makes it a bit better than everybody else gets relegated.
I do prefer the longer format of the finals, because, like I say, you can score really good one week, and then have a down week. Unfortunately, if that down week was to come in week 17, despite being so good all the way through it. It's maybe not a true reflection. The more you can drag out the scores that count towards the finals, I think you do get a fairer result. Generally, the cream will generally rise to the top.
Well, look on the bright side. If they make it 18, if they add an extra week, then it could always be 2-week finals.
Yeah, but no, in the NFL they'll put bye weeks in the middle of the in the middle of the.
That is a problem with the bye weeks as well.
Of the fantasy ones, because I think if we do go to an 18-week season, they will introduce a second.
I think there could be 2 bye. Hopefully, just don't do them in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose with all the travelling across the world as well, they do need like the extra bye weeks too. Because if you're going to Australia as well now, across to Europe 5 times, 6 times, and you've got Brazil. They don't even do Canada anymore, do they? Because Brazil used to always play in Canada for one game, but they don't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's just across the border for them. You can't really say it's an international game for the Bills when it's literally a couple of hours up the road.
Well, it depends.
But yeah, I mean, the Rams are playing the 49ers in Australia this year, week 1. It's a bit bizarre. You know, the NFL are interested in making money. They're not really
about the players.
They're not really that interested when it comes to the health of the players or the supporters. So long as they can make money off the back of it, that's the primary aim, isn't it?
Yeah, they should make it. I think Australia will sell it pretty quick as well. Because I know quite a few that aren't in the league that are Australian that do like watching American football as well.
Yeah.
God knows what time it'll kick off for us.
I think it'll be the same time for us. It's just going to be a morning game in Australia. I believe the times will be the same for the US at least, and then obviously it'll be the same for the UK. But it's something like a 10:30 in the morning kickoff in Australia local time.
Cool. So, that's not too bad then. Yeah. There'll still be lots to go in. I wonder if any of the Octoball ones will be trying to get tickets because there's a few in Australia, but it's obviously Australia's a big place. It's a long way to go.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how long have you followed the NFL?
Since midway through the 2017 season, so not that long, less than 10 years.
Not that long.
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty.
I didn't really have any interest at the start of the 2017 season. My mates had been playing. I think they played fantasy football the year previous, so they wanted to start their own league, but they didn't have enough people. So they just says, "Oh, will you take a team?" I said, "Well, I don't know anything about this. It doesn't matter. Just take a team and draft a lot or draft, etc." I said, "Yeah, whatever." So I did that for him. I was in Brazil at the time, and I was actually working in the office in Brazil. So I would have Sundays off, and I was just living in a hotel. So Sunday afternoon, like 2:00 Brazilian time, like 6:00 UK time, I was like, well, what needs something to do? And my friends had been watching it because they had the fantasy league. So I thought, I'll just stick Red Zone on. So I just started watching it then, and that just got me hooked, and that was it. But yeah, it wasn't until partway through the 2017 season where I actually opened the app that I auto drafted a team on, and decided to see what all the fuss was about.
Well, that's the thing. Red Zone's a really good one for beginners to watch. You know what I mean? Because you've got to be a proper fan if you're going to sit and watch all the games and the breaks and the adverts. Yeah. Red Zone's good.
That's it. Especially if you're new to it and you know absolutely nothing about it, like I did at the time. It's good just to get instant action. Soccer Saturday, what we have on Sky Sports, apart from you actually see what's going on rather than having some washed up old professional tell you what's going on.
Yeah, I used to watch the Saturday. What was it called? Gillette Soccer Saturday.
Yeah, Genesis. Yeah,
it was good when I was working in the pub because I would just have it on the big screen in the telly and everybody else would get lost.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's brutal, isn't it?
It is a bit brutal, but you can't beat the Red Zone. Like I always have the Giants game on, and I'll have the Red Zone on in the big telly, and between the two screens, and I'll have another game on, and I left it. I've maybe got some fantasy value in, and then I'll have no volume. I'll just watch it now and again because it's good.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
it's good that way. Like I'd love to have a setup of having like 8 TVs and just a big one in the middle and just go, whoa.
yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
No,
But
I'm the same. I'll have Red Zone on the TV. They'll have someone on my iPad and someone on my laptop.
it's good you can spread it about. So what team
Yeah.
what team did you decide to root for in the end?
The Rams. So I decided to support the Rams because, like I say, I started watching it roughly around about week 7. They won 33-0 that week. The next week, they beat your Giants 51-17.
Thanks
The
for that.
week after, they won 33-7. So this looks like a fun team that put up loads of points. I'll support them. Yeah, that was McVay's first. That was McVay's first year with the Rams as well. So obviously when he came in with the 11 personnel, he kind of changed the league at that point from what it had been to what it then became for the next 4 or 5 years. So yeah, that's why they were putting up a shitload of points at that time. They were a fun team to watch.
They are a fun team to watch. Like you know what I mean. Although
They still are now because McVay is able to adapt. He's not rigid. When he first came in, the Rams were just a pure 11 personnel team, but now they've evolved to a 12 personnel. Last year they ran more 13 personnel than any team ever, and I imagine that trend is going to stick throughout the league across the next 2 years. More heavier personnel, 12 and 13, and that's a lot of it. It's just off the back of what McVay does. It's a copycat league, isn't it? So
it always is. Yeah,
yeah.
It's when you get the ones that come up from college and try and bring the college in, you're like, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury with a horizontal raid.
Well, that was messy. But of course, it's hard for the Rams because I love picking Rams players, but trying to pick a tight end is an absolute bloody nightmare. Like,
yeah,
because they all score at some point.
They do. I would expect Terence Ferguson would be the highest scoring Rams tight end this year.
No, he's a big boy. Like
slow. Yeah, the slow played him a bit last year in his rookie year. I would expect he would be the primary pass catching tight end this year for the Rams. But like you said, he's not going to be. I don't think he'll be consistent. I think he'll have spike blow up games. So he'd be ideal in a best ball format for a weekly manage where you have to pick and choose who you're going to start each week. He might be a
just draft all 4. One of them was about to score.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got because they paid Parkinson a couple of years ago, did they not? And obviously, he didn't do much the first year.
Yeah,
they got a bit in last year. Because Craig was like, what's this about Parkinson? I said, well, they just signed him a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I think he's in the final year of his deal now. Not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure there's any guaranteed money left on his contract, but he'll be on. I imagine he'll be on the roster to start the year. Higby's at the end of his tether now.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
I think this will be Ferguson's breakout season. Yeah,
hopefully for that long. But who's your favourite player from the team in the past?
Yeah, I think it's probably got to be Donald, hasn't it? From the knocks on him that the draft community gave him when he was, I know he was still a mid-first round pick, but he's too small, not strong enough, can't play in the middle of the D line, and obviously, he was just too quick, wasn't he?
He was something else. Like, well, they had the Super Bowl with that right at the end, getting Burrow.
Yeah. And then the amount of attention that he provided allowed lesser players to have big impacts on the game because he was being double and triple teamed at points because he was that dominant. So his effect on lesser players, he got a few, especially a couple of not very good pass rushers, but they had blow up seasons with the Rams, and he got a few of those guys paid, who then went on and didn't really do anything.
Well, that was the thing, because you had to. He was the main focal point to stop him, and you're okay. But then, like you say, it leaves like overpower on the other side of the line when he's getting triple teamed. So. But yeah, you've got a good defence now, though. I do like Landman, and some of the ones at the back are pretty good too.
Yeah, we really, really struggle. I don't rate our defensive coordinator at all. I think he's a bit of a fraud. But we really, really struggled on the back end towards the end of last year. But obviously, we've just made the trade for the Chiefs guy, and then we also signed the Jalen Watson, who played opposite the Chiefs, McDuffie, for the Chiefs. So we've signed 2 Chiefs cornerbacks essentially. So that should hopefully solidify the back end, at least from what it was last year. We're going to lose Kobe Durant in free agency. But yeah, the pass rush towards the end of the season as well wasn't as effective. Jaron Verse went missing quite a bit. He needs to have a bounce back year this year. He was getting a lot of attention on what he'd done the year previous as to what he'd done last year. It was unwarranted, the adulation he was getting last year. He didn't deserve it.
So do you think like the teams sussed out what they were doing and then they adapted, and the Rams didn't adapt? Because like you say, they started the season off well, and then it was like a shootout come the end of the season.
Yeah, what I think Quentin Lake, our safety, he got injured. It might have been, I think it was in the game where we beat the Seahawks at home. And we were really strong to that point. Then he got injured, then it completely fell apart. And even when he came back, we're kind of hoping, okay, he's going to come back. He's the glue that's going to hold it all together. And it didn't happen. Just it continued on a downward spiral. And that's essentially what cost us the games later on in the year.
Yeah, because he was really good at the beginning. Obviously, you're never quite the same when you come back. No, it just take a few weeks, and by that time it's too late.
It is, yeah, because by the time you come back at that stage of the season, you're fit enough to play, but you're not essentially you're not healthy. By the time you get to the playoffs, no one's healthy. Everyone's carrying knocks and niggles, and most of the time a hell of a lot worse as well. And then you're coming back in, so you're still carrying stuff, and then you're not really match fit. And I think Mike Tomlin used a good analogy. It's very hard to board a moving train, and I think when you have players, especially like he was using that analogy for rookie players that miss camp and things, and then try to make the team during the year. And it's very hard to board a moving train. So.
Oh yeah, well, like I say, it's good. It's a good analogy for players coming back from injury too. So yeah, I do like Mike Tomlin. I'm going to miss him because he's a bloody good coach.
I think he's a good coach. I think he's a terrible game manager, but I think he, as a coach, as a people person, I think he's really good. I don't think he's cut out for being a head coach in this era of the NFL.
But he still seems to get a winning season. I don't know how. It's just
far too reserved. He's far too.
A lot of coaches take chances now.
Yes. Yeah. You have to be aggressive. It
is mostly young coaches. Well, say young, like in their 40s, coaches now than the old school.
More than ever now. Yes, I think Jesse Minter. He was hired by the Ravens this year. He's in his 40s. He was one of the oldest. I think it was only Monken who was older than him that was hired, which is
it's mental.
Yeah.
I like it. Makes it more entertaining for us to watch, even for a Giants fan.
It does, yeah.
So, who's your favourite player on your team at the moment? Then is he in rehab?
Actually, no. Well, like it's very easy to say Puka, Stafford. Kyron maybe not so much. I saw this question, so it got me thinking, and I thought about it probably as the most underrated player. Who I would say is underrated player. The left tackle, Alaric Jackson. He was a UDFA for the Rams. He's come in, played left tackle, which is the hardest position to play on the O-line. He's only allowed 11 sacks in 57 games for a UDFA. That is really, really good. Obviously, Jordan Mailata for the Eagles, he gets lots and lots of plaudits because he was a 7th round pick for the Eagles. And again, what he's done for them has been brilliant for where he was drafted. He's given up double the amount of sacks in roughly the same amount of games as what Jackson has, but Jackson never ever gets the plaudits. He's someone because he was a UDFA, he plays a premium position, and you can get him so cheap. Like, he's a really, really underrated player for the Rams. So yeah, it's easy to pick up. Yeah, Stafford, the quarterback, favorite player. Puka, best receiver in the league, favorite player. They're easy to choose from. But no, someone who I think's really underappreciated would be Alaric Jackson.
Stuff. I did actually like Tutu Atwell, but he obviously is not there anymore, is he?
He's not. No, he's he might be wide receiver 1 for the Dolphins, which doesn't say anything. Which doesn't say anything for that's not bigging up Tutu Atwell. That's just saying how bad the Dolphins are.
No, it's not. Like, I remember I was in
his style of play didn't suit the Rams. The way the Rams went last year with a heavy personnel, Tutu's he's an outside burner. I know we brought him back last year on a 1-year, $10 million deal, which seemed to be aggressive at the time. And then as the Rams transitioned away, it was £10 million down the drain, basically, because they just had no use for him anymore. If you're playing 12 and 13 personnel, the wide receivers you have on the field have got to be big, strong boys as well. And Tutu's definitely not that.
He's not. He's pretty small. He could probably run through the legs.
Yeah, it could well do.
The year you won the Super Bowl, there was this app called Champion Round, and you had to pick things and all that. And I won. I didn't know I'd won, but I actually won a signed Rams jersey. So I had the choice of Jalen Ramsey or Tutu Atwell, but obviously back then Tutu Atwell really wasn't. So I got the Jalen Ramsey, so I've got it up on my wall, so it's quite nice. Like.
Oh, nice.
Then they went on to win the Super Bowl, but I thought it was a complete scam. I'm like, really? What are you after that?
Yeah, exactly.
That was my first signed jersey. I've got a few more now, but that was a nice one to win. Then obviously they went on to win the Super Bowl as well. So I think it arrived like 3 days before the Super Bowl. So it's like, yeah, I've got that jersey. Then he left,
Very
obviously.
Good. Very good.
As players do.
Yeah.
I know they do that. That's the problem. Like, I've got so many different Giants jerseys. So what is your favourite player of all time that's not a Rams player?
Probably Joe Burrow. I really, really enjoy watching Joe Burrow play.
Yes.
I think he's this era's version of Tom Brady. He's ridiculously accurate, ridiculously smart. Holds onto the ball for too long. Hence why he takes so many sacks and gives the Bengals O-line a bad reputation. That's on him. That's not on them. But that's because he chooses to do that because he wants to be so aggressive on those third downs, which probably means why he also does get injured. But I just really enjoy watching his style of play. I like I watched the quarterback show with him on as well, and I like his personality. He's quite quirky, bit different.
He's got a swagger.
He does, yeah. Joe Cole. So no, I do really enjoy watching. Joe Burrow play.
I think I said that in the first episode.
Player, he's a fun player.
I have him maybe in the top 3 quarterbacks in the league because he's good. You know what I mean? But like you say, he can't stay in the field. That's the problem.
Yeah,
But when he's on fire, just it's hard to beat.
There's not many better.
No.
Yeah. He does give the Bengals O-line a bad reputation. It's not as bad as what's made out. That's because of him.
Well, that's the thing.
Other than that, he's a really, really good player.
Yes. So obviously the draft's coming up in a couple of weeks now. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
So who do you think the Rams should be picking in the draft? You've got a first round pick this year, don't you?
We do. We had two. Traded one
away.
Traded one away for the cornerback from the Chiefs. We still have the 13th overall pick. I think I would like to see us go wide receiver there. If we don't go wide receiver, I would think we would trade back. We have very little depth at wide receiver. The Rams are very bare. Devontae Adams was good last year, caught a lot of touchdowns, but other than that, wasn't great. Puka's obviously brilliant on the field. Less said off the field, the better. So hopefully he can sort himself out. So I do think we will draft one or two wide receivers in this draft. It's not a brilliant draft for wide receivers. I would like to see us take Jordan Tyson. But I don't know if he's a Rams player. You need to be physical to be a Rams wide receiver. I'm not sure he qualifies for that, but as a quality of player, I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. I just don't know whether he's a Ram.
Well, you're in a tough division with lots of. You need tough players in that division.
You do. If we were to trade back from there, someone later on, I would like to see us take is Elijah Surratt from Indiana, wide receiver from Indiana. Omar Cooper will go before him, but Surratt was a better player in college. He's a really, really strong analytical profile. Teams don't, or film watchers don't like him because they can't separate, but he's really good at the catch point. Him and Fernando Mendoza, the back shoulder fade, they had that down to a T last year. That was their go-to player basically, and very much how the Rams used Devontae Adams last year in and around the red zone. You could quite easily see someone like Surratt taking that role on if they drafted him this year in the middle rounds. Had a year with Adams looking to develop, because especially Adams now at his age, similar type of player where it's harder for him to separate, so he has to do it through high IQ. I think someone like Surratt would be good to learn from Devontae Adams for a year.
Well, that's the thing, obviously, if you can't separate, if he can catch, he's got a good high catch point. That's almost as good, Matthew Stafford will throw it. If he's confident he's going to catch it, he'll throw it, and that's it.
Yes, he will, yeah, he does. There's no window too small for Matt Stafford to let go of the ball, so what that means, Stafford's not going to play forever. It's year by year with him. So what that means once Stafford's gone, you don't know. You don't know what type of quarterback you're going to get there. So. I
know, because obviously, who's your backup quarterbacks at the moment?
Well, it was Jimmy Garoppolo. I think they want him back, but he hasn't re-signed as of yet. And then the other one's Stetson Bennett, but neither of them will be QB1 after Stafford goes. Once Stafford leaves, the quarterback is not on the roster at the minute.
So do you think they'll draft one in the later rounds, hoping that
I would
overtake?
I would hope not in this class. I would hope
wait for next year.
Class.
Yeah, because they're a bit.
This is a bad class.
Yeah.
class.
What's the best class in this draft then? Or not for fantasy wise, just for player wise.
In this draft this year, the defensive side is a lot stronger. The defensive players are a lot better than the offensive players this year. I have this class down as my database goes back to 2017. This is the second. Only the Kenny Pickett draft was worse at quarterback, obviously. You know, I don't think Mendoza's a great prospect, but I think he's better than Kenny Pickett. And then for running back, wide receiver, tight end, it's the worst class that I have in my database.
Yeah, because after Lovett is a bit of a drop for a running back, and maybe two or three wide receivers, and it's a big drop down there as well. But I'm hoping the Giants pick a lot of defensive players because, like I say, you've got a better chance.
Yeah, if you look on NFL mock draft database, it's got 11 wide receivers due to go in the first 3 rounds, which would be the highest amount of wide receivers drafted for quite a long time in the first 3 rounds. But I just think they're being lifted up because the class is so weak as a whole, and their analytical profiles that they have are nowhere near as good as analytical profiles for your regular day 2, round 2, round 3 wide receivers. I think it's a poor bunch.
Was it last year there was 6 wide receivers drafted in the first round, or was it the year before? It was definitely a year there was a lot drafted in the first round. Because it won't happen this year.
Yeah, that will have been the Ricky Pearsall year, wasn't it?
I think
Pearsall went in the first round.
Yeah, and he's been a bit of can't get him on the field. So it's hard to tell how good he really is. But
yeah, I mean, he wasn't a good. He was overdrafted. He wasn't a good prospect. He was overdrafted.
So on the next one, obviously, because you answered your question about when you got into fantasy football.
Yeah.
So who's your biggest rival out of all the Orkney Bowl teams?
I think fellow Rams fan. I think Pat Toll.
Yeah.
Patrick. Yeah.
That Manchester Bees? No.
Yeah. Yes, I believe it is. Yes. Yeah.
You'd be playing him this year.
Yes. Well, I think the first year I had him in when I won the first championship the previous season, he was in the final, and then I think he was in the running again this year, wasn't he?
He was pretty close, yeah.
I didn't play him in the final this year. That was Rob Warner I played this year, but I think he got beat by Rob in the semis. Yeah, he's always there or thereabouts, and I do plenty of best ball drafts in tournaments that he's in as well, and he always drafts structurally sound teams. Yeah, he knows what he's doing, so yeah, he's someone I have respect for.
Good stuff. Well, like I say, you're definitely playing him at once this season, but I'm not sure about the other one because obviously the fixtures are done, but I can't mind on when you're playing him. I think you're playing. I know in the Champions League you're playing the Darlington Dragons in week 1.
Very good. We'll give him a stick.
And in week 14.
Lovely.
So you've got to finish it off with a highlight. So
yeah, he's my son. He's my son's PE teacher.
You definitely want to beat him now, then.
I'll tell my son to be giving him some stick in school.
Definitely, yes, definitely. You've got to get the banter going. So how many leagues do you actually take part in that's not best ball? Obviously, I don't count best ball. So you just draft it and leave it.
Outside of best ball, probably around about 30 leagues between redraft and dynasty leagues. So yeah, probably in around about 30 leagues, all told.
And what do you prefer, redraft or dynasty?
Dynasty. I do prefer dynasty. I think I have a pretty decent handle on prospects, and also team depth charts, development, things of that ilk that can help you in Dynasty. Where I think Redraft, which is more week-to-week game, I'm not as sharp as when it comes to analysing individual profiles for individual games. So I think that Dynasty, you play over a 2 to 3 year period. So I think over the longer period, I'm better at analysing situations than I am on a week-to-week basis.
Cool. I think Did you get that link for the Dynasty locker that I put in the group chat?
Is that the one you posted just the other day? Was it?
Yeah, it's quite good because
I saw that.
It takes a while to find all your sleeper teams, because it does all the archive as well. But it gives you a breakdown of your overall record and all your games, and you can filter it between best ball, Dynasty, Redraft, and it tells you which years you've won. And then when you click on the league, it gives you all the stats for every year.
Bloody
it's really good, actually.
Very good. Yeah.
And then
that does sound
you can
good.
follow,
I need to take a look at that.
and if you know somebody that's in it, you can follow them on the hallways. You can check how their stats are going for the year too. It's just in the better stage. It's going to get better, apparently. But no, it's quite good. It's one of the ones. It's one of the ones that do the charity fantasies that sent me the link to try it. And I quite enjoyed it.
Very
I've
good.
actually
No.
I've got a 63% win rate last year. It's probably my best for a while.
Nice, well done.
So it makes a change from losing all the time.
Yeah. No one wants to do that.
No. So here we go. For a draft strategy, what player do you tend to draft the most, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea?
I saw this and I couldn't think of an individual player, so I bucketed them. Handcuff running backs are definitely what I draft a lot of, and they sometimes can be good, sometimes they can be very bad. You know, they can just be, if it doesn't work out, which has happened the last couple of years actually, where we've had a lot of running backs that have managed to stay healthy, then it's just a dead roster spot on your roster. And in best ball leagues, that's a killer. At least in redraft leagues, you can do something about it because you've got the waiver wire there, so you can cut and you can churn. And I always like to be churning one or two positions on my bench with handcuff running backs. So yeah, I couldn't. I tried to think because I don't get attached to players. So, and I'm not one where I'm a Rams fan. I have to have Rams on my team. I'll only draft players if they're at the right price. So, yeah, I found it hard to say whether for an individual player. So that's why I went with handcuff running backs, which is something that I do draft a hell of a lot of.
Well, that is a good one. If you can get the right one, obviously you don't try with his 49ers because they've got about 4 that can play.
Yeah.
But I've got a soft spot for Jahmyr Gibbs. But obviously, you have to be early in the draft now to get him.
You do, yes.
In our home keeper league, I took him in the 105. I didn't keep any keepers that year. And they were like, oh, what are you doing? But then obviously he's my keeper every year since.
Yes. Yeah. He'll be my 101 this year.
Yeah, he would be my 101 too.
He'll be my 101. I think Brian Robinson is just good enough just to have a bit of an indent on Bijan's work, whereas Pacheco's not an NFL running back. He's not NFL quality running back. So he'll have zero impact on Gibbs' work.
He stung me for a couple of years, Pacheco. I liked him at the start, but no.
He's never been good. Pacheco was an effect of the league changing how they played Patrick Mahomes. Take away the deep ball. So they took away the deep ball. Mahomes took what the defense give them. The defense give them lanes for Pacheco to run through. and teams were like, "We'll more than happy to let this replacement level back try and run through us, rather than letting Mahomes throw the ball 40 yards down the field."
But then he was getting replaced by Hunt half the time as well, so that's how bad it is.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what teams do this year, because with Ken Walker going there now, they're going to have to respect the run. They haven't had to respect the run in with the Chiefs for the last 4 or 5 years, but that's going to change this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams decide to play the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, I do like Ken Walker just because obviously when his college with the Spartans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do have a soft spot for Ken Walker too, but like I didn't like him at Seattle so much because I quite like Charbonnet as well, and obviously they were eating into each other.
They were, yeah.
And you don't know what Charbonnet's going to be like when he comes back from his injury, because it's quite a bad injury. But he was doing well before he got injured, so.
He was. I'd be surprised if we see Charbonnet much at all this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect we'll see much of him until December. Well, that's it. They're going to, the expectation is the draft someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, they're looking at Price, Mike Washington Jr., Emmett Johnson, Jonah Coleman. They're all going to be available around the round 3, round 4. Price, maybe he's getting a bit of hype. Maybe they'll have to look at him at 64, but round 3, round 4, the other backs will be available.
They don't have,
obviously whoever it is, I will say, sorry to put in there, whoever it is, will probably be overdrafted in fantasy this year.
Probably. But then you've got JSN, you've got the tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
They kept Shaheed, which was a bit disappointing last year. I thought Shaheed would get more, but he was always getting the long passes and not really getting the catch him or uncatchable or interference.
Yeah. I mean, they paid him a hell of a lot of money for a guy that they didn't want to use really outside of being a return man. Obviously, best kick returner in the league. And that does have value, but not to the tune of 51 million. So you would hope that they're with a full off season now, they're going to
use him more,
implement him more in the offense. Yeah.
Good stuff. So, who's the worst player you've ever drafted?
JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I once used, in my first ever Dynasty League, I used a 10th round startup pick on JJ Arcega-Whiteside. He has to be the worst player I have ever drafted. Do you remember? I'm looking on your face, you have no idea who he is.
JJ
Arcega-Whiteside.
That was a bad pick.
He was, I think he was a second round pick. I think he was a second round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2019 draft, out of Stanford. Yeah, and he was hopeless, absolutely hopeless. If I knew then what I knew now, then I wouldn't have touched him. I wouldn't have touched him on Month of Sundays. He had something ridiculous, like a 40% contested target rate in college, which, if 40% of your targets are contested in college, you've got no chance in the NFL. So if I knew then what I knew now, then yes, he would never have been on my radar. But at the time, I was just getting into fantasy and watch some clips on YouTube, and you don't really know what you're looking for, so you look to other people in the industry for advice. And there was a lot of people were touting JJ Arcega-Whiteside at the time, and it didn't work out well for anybody.
Well, you learn from your mistakes, but like I say,
you do.
I try not to draft too many Eagles players as it is anyway, like being a Giants fan. But
fair enough.
No, I don't. That's a complete what? I thought I was hearing you wrong. You were talking about something else. I was like,
no. It was like it plays like that, and then other similar players around about that time that got me into saying, well, these players are terrible selections. So let's look into why they are terrible selections and why now and that's one of the reasons why I started getting into building my own database. And I have a full college database now for skill position players and IDP players that goes back to everyone drafted since 2017. So
That's impressive.
it's pretty deep. So now I can look at players coming out, but also look at players previously and see where they rank up against each other. And nothing's perfect. Like one of them towards the top there is Corey Davis. Corey Davis was another one. His analytical profile coming out of
Was he with the Jets?
He was originally drafted by the Titans. Fifth overall by the Titans, coming out of an FCS school, which probably wouldn't happen now. But yeah, his analytical profile was absolutely tremendous. But he's playing against car insurance salesmen and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why he did look tremendous. But so yeah, nothing's perfect. There's plenty more hits and misses, but it can identify players with that are essentially landmines, especially when it comes to early round picks.
Well, you think about like Puka. I think he came out the first year of the Orkney Bowl, 3 years ago, and he was undrafted in quite a lot of leagues.
Yeah, he will have been. Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
the first week pickup when he got like 20 targets or whatever. Like, yep, right.
Yes.
Where were that?
Yeah.
And I think he was maybe drafted in 3 leagues out of the 8.
Yeah.
But by week 1, it was on everybody's.
Yes.
Picked up it.
Yeah.
So it was just.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's going to be like because obviously pre-season doesn't really tell you much, to be honest.
No, that's it. Because he's one that does actually pop in my database, but another one who went in the similar range to him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he doesn't. He's quite low down. When I've gone through it all now, I've got the Puka as underdrafted as where he was drafted in the NFL, and I just have like Amon-Ra St. Brown as he was drafted in a fair range for what his profile was coming out of college. So yeah, even sometimes it's exactly. Even though
he's not happy with it,
yeah. So yeah, it's it does identify players that are potentially underdrafted, and also players that are potentially overdrafted, and then there's ones that are fairly drafted and they just don't work out.
It's hard obviously because it's a bit. You can be great. You can always be great in college, but you might not. It is a like with Gentry last year. Everybody was going absolutely mental because he was so angry. But I think I said last year in the podcast, it's a different step up. You're playing against quicker, stronger, faster defenders. He's had a couple of good games with the Raiders as well.
Yeah, it's much different for running back as well, because running back are very much a product of their environment. Wide receiver, and to a lesser extent, tight end, is player skill. We saw, like you said, Gentry, but we'll use Barkley as an example. Last year, Barkley wasn't very good in fantasy football. He was fine, but he wasn't very good. But he's exactly the same player he was as a player. He is exactly the same player as the player in the previous year. But the offensive environment fell apart around him last year. So the same player there, the same player is inside. Barkley hasn't changed, but the environment fell apart around him. So he wasn't as good, which is always my argument why you shouldn't really like running backs. Because they're only a product of their environment. Give credit to the 5 big guys in front of them and the passing game, because that's what allows you running backs to be as good as they can be. That Barkley's still the same player as he was the year previous. Just the offensive environment fell apart around him, and a running back can elevate his environment, where the environment can elevate the running back.
So obviously, because you do, like I've not watched much of college, but when a player catches the ball on the sideline, you only have to put one toe down, don't you?
You do, yes.
Whereas in NFL, you need two, or a butt, or a knee, or a finger.
Yes,
so
something or other.
It's obviously they have to adapt from college, where they could just have to put one foot down. So that's basically what training camp is in the rookie training camp, to get it in their head that you do need to put. They probably know before, but some of their heads are up their arse, they don't realise it. But it's a big thing, because you've been doing college for like 5 years and doing it one way to learn to do it another way.
That's it. And the layout of the pitches are different as well, with the hash marks being wider. And some college teams are just complete Mickey, like the Tennessee Volunteers. With Josh Heupel, their offense is just complete Mickey Mouse. They just stick the wide receivers right up on the boundary, so that spread the whole defense out. You might have only 4 or 5 players in the box trying to defend the run, because everything's so spread out wide, and you just got players running down the field, running goals and hitches, and and that's why you see a lot of these Tennessee players fail, wide receivers. Fail in the NFL, just because it's just such a Mickey Mouse offense that they can't overcome it, because they've never been asked to do anything really in college. Just big guy run fast down the field, catch ball.
I just remember seeing that, thinking, wow, that's a hell of a difference from the NFL, where you have to have 2 foot down or drag a toe.
Yeah.
And up there, like, they make great catches, but they've only got one toe in, and you go, okay.
But you have it with it's why a lot of quarterbacks struggle as well, because in the NFL, if you're going to be really successful, you really have to play under center, turn your back to the offense, to the defense, and play that way. And in college, they just don't do it in college. I think Mendoza coming in. Yeah, Mendoza's at like 4 or 5 snaps or something, and Caleb Williams, he was the same. So that's very, very big transition, and some of them can't handle it at all. Some of them can.
Well, that's where they got a lot of fumbles with the snaps.
Yeah. If you're going to be a really successful offense in the NFL, you have to be able to play that.
Because that's where you get your play action, and it's not the same from a shotgun than it is from centre, hiding the ball.
That's it. And you can marry the run up and the pass up to look exactly the same, and the defense doesn't know what's coming. So
then, obviously, like you say, when you've got your back to it, the defense can change, and you've got to be quick to realise, shit, that's not what it was a second ago.
No, that's it, because defenses are changing now from pre-snap to post-snap on almost every play. So
obviously that's where Brady was good, because he was so bloody quick. I mean, his passes came out really quick, and as much as I didn't like him when he played for the Patriots,
and like I say, Burrow, he's like this generation's version of Tom Brady in that respect.
So obviously, I don't. Do you do any work? Obviously, you do your what's it called?
Patreon.
That's it. I was going to call it Descript, but it's not that. So you do your Patreon, but you do any other work in fantasy football? Like I do. I follow your stuff, but sometimes I find it hard to understand it, because I've not got the same brain as that. But I've got them all on my spreadsheets. It's just like, whoa, that's a lot of information.
It is very
detailed,
analytical heavy. Yeah, it's very analytical heavy. That's for sure. I do. One of my friends, he has his own page, so I do occasional columns for him. But every week I do my rankings and projections. So they go on his website. They're free. Hopefully, partway through last year, I started submitting my rankings to Fantasy Pros. So this year, I'll be going into the Fantasy Pros expert consensus competition. So we'll see how we get on with that. So
nice one.
I couldn't. My results last year weren't displayed publicly, but privately on their internal survey, you could see, and one of the weeks I came out first. I had a few weeks where I was in the top 5 for like quarterback or running back rankings, but then I was let down by my wide receiver, tight end rankings. But I ended up having, I finished first once, had 2 top 10 finishes, 1 top 20 finish, and then the rest were kind of like nowhere. So we'll keep doing that and see how we get on. But that was good fun. That was something new to challenge myself with. So I always like to make it difficult for myself.
Well, that's true. But now you're doing really well with it. Like I do enjoy it, but it's a lot to take in. And I'm usually looking at my phone. I should really look at the computer where you can take it all on at once. Not scroll about and go, what the fuck?
It is. I think it is a lot easier to view. I produce it all on my laptop, so I think it is definitely a lot easier to view it on the laptop. That's for sure.
I'll remind that when I get the next one. So what sort of thing do you like to do outside of fantasy football?
I run a horse racing partnership. Me and my friends, we own some race horses. So I run the Muffed Punt partnership. We have three horses in train at the moment with Grant Chewer, who trains not far from us. We've got Showtime Mahomes, Scott Hansen, and Red Rifle. Obviously all NFL related. We had a horse called Mr. Irrelevant that was sold to the Bahraini royal family last year. And we had a horse called Run CMC as well, who won a small race for us up at Musselburgh.
Nice one.
So, but no, that's good fun. Showtime Mahomes, he won at York 4 years ago now. It'll be 4 years ago next month. He won at York. So that was a brilliant day. That was on ITV Racing. So yeah, we had a good time that day. Enjoyed ourselves.
Nice one.
But yeah, no, it's good fun. We've been really lucky with the horses that we've got. Showtime's, he's won 8 races now, I think it is. We paid $6,000 for him, paid nothing for him. So on the back of the money that he's won for us, we've been able to buy these other horses basically at no cost. And then they say Mr. Irrelevant, we bought him for $20,000. We sold him to the Bahraini royal family for $42,000. So we doubled our money with him. Yeah. So we've got a few quid in the pot to buy the next one with. So we'll probably look at adding one later on this year, maybe the start of next year.
Good stuff. Yeah, I noticed when you put on the chat that it's running, and I don't really bet on horses anymore, but I do try and keep track of how the result goes.
Yeah, he does all right. Showtime. He's the fitter we get him, the worse he runs. He runs well when he's got a bit of a belly on him.
Right.
So, but yeah, the more we run him, the worse he seems to run. So we just have to kind of pick and choose our spots with him.
Yeah, so get him at the start of the season and be best chance.
Yeah, he generally runs well fresh. Runs his first 3 or 4 races, and then the fitter he gets, he kind of tapers off. So we'll see how we get on this year. We'll probably give him 3 or 4 runs, then maybe give him 6 weeks off, and then bring him back again.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's obviously that probably then running a horse into the ground. You can't run them too much because it's not fair on a horse or yourselves, because obviously you're paying money to enter.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's no cheap. So
no, it's not cheap.
Obviously, for the last question is what question would you like to ask the next person on the show? That's Lee this afternoon.
Okay, so which NFL stadium that you haven't attended, or maybe you have attended, would you like to attend next? So that will be my question. I've been to a few. I want to go to SoFi, but I've never been to SoFi as of yet. So that's one I want to go to myself. But I have been to a few in the US. Yeah, so if you haven't been to one, which one would you like to attend? Or if you've been to them all, which one would you like to go back?
I've never been to America, so I haven't been to any. But
right.
Obviously, I've been to about 7 games in London.
Yeah.
But it cost, the last one I went to was a Giants Packers at Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah.
Between ticket and accommodation and flight, it cost me £1,200.
Yeah. So we looked at going a couple of years ago because we used to do all the London games, obviously, as well. But then a couple of years ago, we looked at, like you said, for travel, for accommodation, for the ticket. We were able to go to the US for 6 days, go to a game, go to the Eagles against the Commanders, and go to the Vikings against the Titans for about £400 more. So
that's pretty good.
we got 2 games in, had 6 days in the States, night in New York, night in Philadelphia when we went to the game on the Thursday night, then went to Nashville. Had a few days in Nashville, went to the game in Nashville on the Sunday, and then came home. And that was around about £400 more than what it was going to a London game, and it was a far better experience.
That would have been like it's nice, but yeah, I would love to go to a game in America. I'd love to go to a college game in America.
Well, we were hoping because on the Saturday we were in Nashville. We had 3-4 days in Nashville. So we were hoping we would go to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt play in Nashville, but they were on the bye week that week, unfortunately.
Typical of that.
So we couldn't go then. But no, if they'd have been playing at home in Nashville, then we definitely would have attended that one.
So I'll say, so the next question, you know the question you're going to get, but I'll see if it will let you play.
I had a question. My question was going to be, if you had one rule that you could change in the NFL, what rule would you change? That was going to be my question. But I suppose I'll give him 2 questions if he can answer it. What does he think has been his winning formula so far in the Orkney Bowl since he's a undefeated champion?
So I'll answer the first question. What rule would I like to see implemented? You're not allowed to punt inside your own 40-yard line. So if you're inside your own...
that now?
Well...
Or is it 50 they're doing?
Well, teams will still punt. But yes, no, you can't. Once you're inside your own 40-yard line, you can't punt. You've got to go for it on 4th down. Is what I would like to see implemented. Less kicking, please. And then for the Orkney Bowl question, is IDP doesn't matter. The points are so replaceable. You don't need to concern yourself in the draft with using significant draft capital on IDP players. The point scoring is so, because there's only 2 spots, but IDP scoring is so deep. There's so many players that can give you usable points on a weekly basis that you don't need to worry about using significant draft capital on IDP players. Just take 2 or 3 with your last few picks in the draft.
Yeah, I did that last year. I think either second last and last, I think I picked IDP players. But then I got Landman off free agency.
Exactly. You'll find...
Pick up Landman, so I did, and he did well.
I think one of the top scoring IDP players last year was Cedric Gray, linebacker for the Titans. He wasn't drafted at all. Yeah,
I don't think he'd be drafted at all. I think.
No, there's so many usable pieces. You don't need to worry about it.
And they're almost more matchup dependent too, because there's so many. If you're playing against a really bad quarterback or defensive line, you try and pick up a linebacker from there. This is something that will get you through the week.
There's so many linebackers on a weekly basis that will give you a solid floor. That's all you need.
I think Bobby Wagner was like the second highest. Point scorer.
And like you say, you'll find a Landman, you'll find a Cedric Gray just kicking about on waivers that you can then just pick up and play every single week, basically. Yeah, it's so because it's so shallow. You only need to start 2, and the amount of players that can give you usable weeks is so deep. You don't need to worry about it.
Oh. Well, thank you for that. It's been an entertaining show, a bit longer than the other ones, but it's good to catch up with the defending champion and obviously going for the 3-peat.
We'll give it a bash. See what we can do. Thanks for having us on, Johnny. Good to chat for you.
Good to. I'll see you again at some point. But thank you for coming on. And I think the update's nearly finished, but it's quicker than this and the other one. But thank you again for coming on, and good luck this year. Not that you'll need it.
Cheers. Thanks.